One of the things that I really worried about when my daughter was a newborn, and actually until she was about 1.5, was travelling with her. It really stressed me out, and before we went anywhere, whether it was a long car journey or a train journey or a flight, I would literally be like frothing with stress over what to do and what I should pack and how it would all work and what happens if she cries, what happens if she poos. So hopefully these tips will help you if you're flying with a baby. Book early. This applies particularly if you're going long haul, because you will want to request a bassinet, which is a cot type thing that the baby can sleep in next to your seat. Now the bulkhead seats that the bassinets can go next to are obviously very limited, and lots of parents will want to be requesting them. So you need to be booking early and booking your bassinet and your bulkhead seat first, because once they're gone, they're gone. It's not like you can say, but what will my baby do? How will my baby sleep? The airline doesn't really care. And so if you miss out on getting one of those bulkhead seats and the bassinets, then your baby will have to sleep on you, which for some parents, that's not the end of the world. That's fine. That's how the baby would prefer to sleep anyway. But it's nice to have the option of having the bassinet as well. I would recommend taking a sling or a baby carrier. So one of the things that I really found when my daughter was a baby was it's all very well taking the buggy up to the gate or up to the plane and then leaving the buggy and then getting on with your baby. But when you get to your destination, you then have to carry your baby and your hand luggage all the way to the baggage reclaim, which can be quite a long way depending on what airport you've landed at. And actually, I remember just wanting to cry because my baby, you know, although she wasn't heavy, having to have all the hand luggage plus all of the stuff for her, you know, and kind of juggling it and trying to go up the stairs and down the escalators and along the corridors, it was really stressful. And so I would totally recommend taking a baby carrier or a sling onto the plane with you, and then when you get off the plane, you can wrap yourself up or clip yourself in or whatever you want to do, and carry your baby to the baggage reclaim where you can collect the buggy or the pram, and off you go. For nappy changes, I would recommend buying one of those little kind of folding envelope type carriers for, they're quite small and they're about £20, and all they fit in them is maybe a couple of nappies, some wet wipes, like a small thin bag of wet wipes, some nappy bags, like refuse bags, and when you unfold it, it turns itself into a changing mat, which is really, really handy wherever you are. I mean, I would just recommend getting one of those anyway, but for flights, they're really good, because if you're on the plane and you're kind of, oh, my baby's done a bit of a poo, or just, you know, a wet nappy, you need to change that. You just grab the envelope, grab the baby, and off you go to the toilet. You don't have to worry about, you know, rooting around. Everything's there. And also the flip down changing units that they have, they are clean. Of course they're clean, but it's nice to have something to put on that before you then lay your baby on it to change their nappy. When the air pressure changes on a flight, when you're descending in particular, obviously as grown-ups we're aware of our ears popping, and we do things like yawning or swallowing or sucking on a hard-boiled sweet to help our ears. But babies obviously don't know to do this, and it's the sucking reflex, sucking action that can help the pressure in your ears. So with babies, it's really actually quite simple. The best thing to do is either breastfeed your baby when you're descending, and obviously it can be a bit tricky to do this with their in the seatbelt that the airline gives you, but it is possible, or give them a bottle, or even a dummy. If your child has a dummy, that's a really good way of relieving the pressure that builds up in their ears. Really important, just stay calm, and I say this being someone who's a massive stress head when it comes to travelling with a baby, but just try and stay chilled out and not get worked up about things, and actually look around you and on the plane, and don't imagine that everybody is hating you and hating your child, your baby, for crying, because chances are that's not the case. Even if you've got a grumpy old man in front of you who like puts his seat back and, you know, tuts at your baby making a noise, kind of just ignore it and just think, oh, do you know what, you either don't have kids yourself or you've just forgotten what it's like, and kind of just let it kind of roll off your back, you know, just don't worry about it, because actually the more stress you get, the more stress your baby will probably get, and it'll just kind of escalate and snowball, and it won't be much fun at all. So I know it was hard, but just try and just stay nice and calm.